Besties, it's new Megan Fox day! Or it was, this video is definitely late, but still, new Megan Fox. So today we're going to be talking about Till Death, a movie that everyone was falling over themselves to compare to Gerald's Game, and then some of them got upset that it wasn't similar enough to Gerald's Game. Which is fine, you don't have to like this, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I had fun. Watching Megan Fox pull some literal dead weight around while kicking ass. And this is also a movie that Megan Fox distinctly elevates. Really? Okay. I'm not saying that someone else couldn't have done this role, but there's something very cathartic about an actress who's like so often known just as this sex object throughout her career and how that's affected a lot of the performance of some of her movies, and just kind of like seeing that ass kicking. It's nice. It also manages to keep the stakes and the tension running pretty high in situations where you might think it would just kind of overplay itself, get tired, or just kind of fall apart. It ultimately ends up being a really solid thriller with some psychological elements that ends up being a hell of a lot more funny than it has any business being. So directed by S.K. Dale, Till Death tells the story of Emma, a woman in a deeply unhappy and controlling marriage as her husband seemingly tries to rekindle some of the romance for their 11th anniversary. But things immediately go south when Emma wakes up handcuffed to his dead body the next morning as she spirals into a cat and mouse game for her life. Now, we've talked about Megan Fox here before. I absolutely love my Jennifer's Body video. And in it, I go over a lot of the issues surrounding the movie's marketing and the way it was framed around Megan Fox. She was hot off her time in the Transformers movies, where she was sadly often just relegated to this sex object, even though her character's backstory was super compelling. Like, I honestly really like the Michaela character. She's just absolutely ruined by shit writing. But the perception of Fox and Transformers resulted in Jennifer's Body being marketed on sex appeal for young men, when the movie is about the dynamic of a female friendship and one of those girls literally brutally rips apart young men.
Do you buy all your murder weapons at Home Depot? God, you're butch.
So it just didn't hit its target audience and became a flop. But then about 10 years later, the conversation started to flip, which is something that Megan Fox is really happy about.
Like a decade later, that role is still speaking to people, especially to young girls. Like, it's so relevant today. So it gave me a chance to tap into something that is sort of perennial or eternal, if that makes any sense.
At this point, it finally feels like it's hitting its target audience. The intentions of the movie, the dynamic of this friendship as it's bottled into a demon possession story, were finally shining through. And as goofy as so much of that movie is, intentionally, by the way, it has some really amazing, sincere moments, and honestly, it showcases some of Megan Fox's genuine talent. And the world was finally ready to give Megan Fox her justice, just in time for her to appear in the MGK Bloody Valentine video, which I'm a big fan of. So when I saw the promo pics for Till Death and her handcuffed and bloody, I was on board. But even with this movie, there's a trailer re-upload channel trying to push that Megan Fox hot over the brutal reality of this movie. If you're interested in a deeper dive on the Transformers effect on Megan Fox and her career, Lindsay Ellis has a great video that I'll have plugged down below. And do you know what else Lindsay Ellis has? A book called Axiom's End, which is available on today's sponsor, Audible. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks. From new releases to podcasts to guided meditation and memoirs, Audible has you covered with thousands of different titles. And when it comes to making videos on this channel, Audible is one of the most useful resources I have. It allows me to get through stories faster while taking care of other daily responsibilities so I can get the videos out to you faster without my life falling apart. I even got my mom a year-long subscription for Christmas and she loves it. So if you're someone with long commutes or wants to make it through more stories or just likes having something on while working, Audible is a fantastic choice for you. With Audible, you get 1 credit every month that you can use on any title, including new releases, and you get to keep it for life. The membership also includes access to the Audible Plus catalog, which provides members with unlimited access to select audiobooks, podcasts, guided wellness programs, Audible originals, sleep tracks, and more. So if you want to try Audible out for yourself, head on over to audible.com/Jedi or text Jedi to 500-500 to get 30 days completely free. So I'm going to get into a little bit of spoiler talk here in a bit, but outside this just being a solid, fun popcorn thriller, there's a lot of really good commentary going on. The literal dragging around of her husband's dead weight, lingering trauma from an unrelated incident, an inability to accept blame for your own actions by projecting them onto others, and finally, literally and figuratively fighting to reclaim your life. Our protagonist isn't perfect, and you might be left wondering why she didn't just leave, but no one in this movie is without sin, and now she's in a situation where she has to fight for her life. I think the movie does a really good job switching things up just as it seems like it's about to get repetitive as it builds into its conclusion. And while the intro is a little bit rocky, like Megan Fox definitely does the sardonic, exasperated persona that you get later in the movie just great justice. She does still deliver that emotionless housewife bit really well too. And I think it makes for a really nice parallel of being functionally lifeless in the beginning to where she gets by the end reclaiming her life and herself as a person. But I don't think that means it doesn't serve as a good popcorn thriller, because I think it definitely does. Like overall, I feel like for me, it's probably like a 3 out of 5, but then Megan Fox's performances in certain moments brings that up to a 3.5 out of 5. So like, I feel comfortable with a 7 out of 10. I also really love the winter setting. It just adds an extra layer to her torment, and there's just this beautiful contrast between the blood against the untouched white snow. I know this was originally set to begin filming in March, and I know in Canada it's still snowy in March, but I don't think it is in Bulgaria where this was filmed, so I feel like they probably had to adapt it for a winter script, and I think it worked really well. Basically, if you're looking for a movie where Megan Fox is sick of everyone's shit and kicks ass to the very end, you probably won't be disappointed. But let's hop into the movie. As mentioned, this starts a little bit awkward, but it's clear that Megan Fox's character Emma is cheating on her husband, but for whatever reason, this is the night she decides to end the affair. And then when Tom begs to see her one last time the next day, she says it's not possible because it's her anniversary. And before you feel too bad for the husband, he's an absolute dickhead. And it's later revealed that he regularly cheats on her too. I'm not saying that cheating is okay and you should leave before it gets to that point, but there's just this looming threat of like, no matter what you do, you are stuck with this person. And I've seen some complaints of like, why didn't they just get a divorce? And I think that's part of the point. Like, neither one is happy, both of them cheat, but for their own reasons, they either refuse to or can't leave the marriage. And that's just a reflection of reality. There's even a moment where she sees a young girl getting proposed to, and it's a reminder of herself. And she seems to give that girl the advice she wishes she could have given and taken herself.
But I just want you to understand that nothing is set in stone.
And at this point, she doesn't seem to have any emotion left. She gets to her husband, Mark's office, where he's a big-time defense attorney, and sees a police file on his desk. The police file about her brutal assault where she was stabbed and only got away by keying her attacker in the eye. Just the thing to get you in the mood for a romantic anniversary dinner. And we get our first taste for this guy's personality when he immediately comments that she's wearing the wrong dress, and even though she says she wanted to try something different.
It's okay. It's time to stop by the apartment and change.
And all this is essentially setting the stage for what's contributed to the downfall of this happy couple. His controlling nature, her no longer playing the happy housewife, how she hates that he now defends the same type of people that almost killed her. And what we'll discover later on is that Mark was also the district attorney that put her attacker away, meaning that there was already some kind of power imbalance and dynamic at the beginning of this relationship. And if you feel like things were just like a little bit too bland at this point, turns out that Tom works at the firm too. Oh, damn. And the anniversary dinner also seems like an awkward affair. You get the classic ordering something for the lady when she says she doesn't want it. The one moment where there seems to be some levity is that she got him 50-yard line Super Bowl tickets. But the gift that he gives to her seems sinister. Apparently, the 11th wedding anniversary is the steal year, and this thing seems concerning. If he ever loved her, it seems pretty clear that at this point he just sees her as something he owns. And then he leaves the tickets behind, which is some major foreshadowing that he doesn't see himself lasting much longer. And if things weren't romantic enough, he then blindfolds her and takes her on an hour-long drive out to their lake house. So romantic in the dead of winter. And at first you're like, okay, he sucks, but he's trying to rekindle some of the romance. He's left her a trail of rose petals and candles, a dark room full of their happy moments, which is actually terrifying, to be quite honest. I love you with all my heart till death do us part, focusing right in on faithfully yours. Which seems like a jab that he may know about her affair, but again, it'll be revealed that he cheated on her, so fuck him. But he says he's been a bad husband and that he knows things like this aren't going to fix it, but it's a start, and they share one last night together. Because the next morning, she wakes up handcuffed to him just before he shoots himself in the head. So now she's shell-shocked and cold and almost naked. He's disabled the phone lines, only put one bullet in the gun, took all the tools, and the only clothing in the closet is her wedding dress. So now she gets to drag him around while she tries to figure a way out of this fresh hell. And fun fact, this was pretty much all done by a stunt person because they couldn't make the dummy look real enough. So like Megan Fox is actually dragging around a massive man. Now I did see someone complaining that she wouldn't have been able to get the shirt on, but like by looking at like the buttons and the blood pattern from like before and after it's on her, I'm pretty sure she just kind of like pulled the shirt off him from one side and then kind of like flipped it inside out as she pulled it up her arm this way. Like I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but even if it was a goof, like it's fine. It's fine.
No, fuck!
Mood. So it's pretty clear that he wants to make this her hellish downfall. Even when she makes it to the car, he's siphoned out all the gas and just left her with a message.
All weddings soon, remember.
Can't even escape the bullshit and death. But the message goes on to say that regardless of his indiscretion, she should have been kissing his feet, that she was nothing but a failed photographer before they met. And says that her infidelity isn't the reason why he's killing himself, but he couldn't let her go on to be happy with Tom after he was dead. True, if I can't have you, no one can energy. And that necklace? Yeah, it can't come off. It's basically a chain. And this is where the performance really starts to shine.
How many fucking times did I wash lipstick and glitter off of your fucking shirt?
Like, there's no misery here, it's all pure annoyance and exasperation. Which only gets worse as it shows how intricate this sick game goes. Pictures in the dark room were replaced with ones of her and Tom, and her case photos. And just when you think the movie might just be her dragging him around the house trying to find secret hate notes, Tom shows up. And this is where things really start to amp up. Turns out Mark got caught tampering with cases and was about to be arrested, which is why he killed himself. But he sent Tom a message from her phone saying, I f***ed up, I need help. So it would look like she killed her husband and then Tom would be implicated in the cover-up.
Is he here?
Most of him.
Which honestly seems like more of a contingency plan for if the next part didn't pan out.
Stay knew his entire career was going down the drain, and so he's just trying to drag me down too.
I know some people think she's not reacting logically, but no, this is the most logical reaction to the situation she's in. The only thing here is that I feel like someone like Mark, who's that narcissistic, would never actually be able to end their life, but I guess if it was out of spite and to keep control over another aspect of their life, like maybe. So Tom's concerned about calling the cops, saying the fact that she cleaned up in the text message may look suspicious, but she's not having it.
Do you really think that he sent you that text so you could come here and you could save me?
Yes, I love it! Like, it's great that he wants to help out, but she's right. Mark clearly wanted him here to unintentionally make things worse by trying to protect her. And I just love that the only help she really needs is his phone, which is in his car, which is when another vehicle starts rolling up. See, if he was smart, he would have run out to his vehicle real quick to call 911 and then gone back to the house before they showed up. And it's too bad that he didn't, because that guy is the guy that attacked Emma.
Your car.
Wow, looks like he's still holding a grudge from the consequences of his own actions. So somehow she now has to avoid him and his brother while carrying around the dead weight of her husband after just seeing someone she really cares about killed. But it's pretty clear that the little brother isn't cut out for this life and had no idea that this was his brother's plan.
You said you were gonna tie him up. You said nothing about killing him.
I know, and I'm sorry, okay?
Now the main downside to the snow, other than the cold, is that he's now leaving a massive blood trail. But she lucks out for once and manages to use the boat anchor to cut off his hand just in time to hide. It's like Saw, except Megan Fox is the winner. So now she's at least free from one of the shit men.
There were two people who knew the combination to that safe. One of them is now missing part of his head.
The guy who hired us.
The lawyer that put you away.
Yeah, we found common ground.
Yeah, apparently he didn't let them in on the whole killing himself part of the grand plan. And Bobby clearly didn't let Jimmy know that part of the plan was killing Emma. So now we're in a cat and mouse chase. One's working to break open the safe because that's what they were promised, and the other is hunting down Emma. And she almost manages to gas up the truck before he hears her, almost gets pinned between the two, and only makes it out by triggering the car alarm.
20 minutes in and out, that's what you said.
Man, that's the new. I wasn't even supposed to be here today. Yeah, from what I gathered, Jimmy was told that they were just going to be breaking into a safe to steal money and they were just going to have to tie up the guy there, but You know, Bobby had it out for blood. And for some reason, this dude blames her for everything. He stabbed her and landed in jail, but it's her fault that they lost the house that they grew up in. It's her fault that he was in jail while his dad got sick. Like, dude, you stabbed her and she got you back with a pop shot to the eye. Like, you're lucky you only got 10 years. And then she gets him again by club slamming him through the attic. Get fucked, bitch! But sadly, he catches her just as she gets to the truck, but I'm pretty sure she managed to get a call off to the police.
So you drag that corpse up those stairs, or you fucking become one.
And she's chained to the lump again. But Jimmy's officially had it. This was supposed to be a chill job, and now his brother is ready to torture the safe code out of a girl. He's slamming him around.
Jimmy, what are you doing?
And he's the only one of the two with any sense.
Who do you think's the first person the cops are gonna come looking for when they find her dead body, huh?
Oh yeah, the guy who fucking stabbed her and just got out of prison.
You dumb fuck!
Now, I can see why some people may have issues with the next part. How she should potentially be acting very differently. She's face to face with her attacker who 100% wants her dead. She has no weapons, no way to escape. But she's just so done, so it makes sense that she's like, look, I'll give you the combination, you just gotta cut me loose first.
Combination first.
Fuck that, not as long as I'm attached to this fucking piece of shit.
But here's where another twisted level opens up. Mark really wanted to make sure there wasn't a chance at a happy ending for her. Diamonds you seek lay close to her heart. Oh my god, they're in the chain, which can't be removed from her neck without removing her from her neck. God, now it's like Saw and Megan Fox isn't the winner. But after a scuffle where Jimmy tries to stop Bobby from stabbing her, Bobby slams him into a coat rack, which goes right through his head, and again he chooses to blame her.
This is all your fault.
Literally, like, if you had just laid there and let me stab you, everything would be fine. And again, she's so over it. So now she manages to get the handcuffs on him, so it's his turn to drag around the dead weight of his failures for a while. She manages to get down to the car but can't make it out because the other trucks are blocking the way, tries to run him over. And then the whole thing culminates with the two fighting on the ice before he breaks through and drags her down with him. So she stabs him in the other eye. Yes, Megan! Do not let that baggage drag you down. And finally, as if from the dead, she breaks through the ice just as the police arrive and her ring falls into the lake, fully severing the connection on every level. So presumably the cops get there just in time to save her from hypothermia or losing any kind of limbs. And she's free. Free from manipulation, free from her attacker, and free to restart her life. Really sucks about Tom though. He didn't ask for any of that. So I had a great time with this. I love dark comedies and I know that it's something that Megan Fox loves doing as well. So it's always a really nice extra level when you can tell that actors are having a great time doing what they're doing. I think the whole movie takes some things that have been done a lot before but adds its own twist on them to make it fresh. So I definitely think it's worth checking out. So if you've caught Till Death, let me know what you thought. If not, let me know what your favorite Megan Fox movie is. I, for one, am super interested to see where she goes and if she keeps doing movies like this. I know she's got another movie coming out this month that MGK is also in, so I haven't watched a trailer for it, but I'm really interested to see that one. But that's gonna do it for today's video, and thanks as always to my Patreon supporters with a special shout out to Bobby B, Nick L, EcoHacks, Your Buddy Duddy, Ike H, who all pledge at the master level, and A. Howard, Alex R, Corey A, Dave M, Futa, Lyra, Maria P, Sean P, XS Oddities, Son of Loki 3011, and Ms. V, who all support at the Jedi Knight level. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like on the video if you're into that kind of thing. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm mostly okay, and we'll catch you all later.